Hey, aloha. Welcome to the Friday Aloha Marketing Jam Session. I'm Tom Gaddis, my business partner, Nick Ponte, on the other end, coming to you live from Maui, Hawaii, and Las Vegas, Nevada. We have a fantastic live show lined up for you today. We're going to be talking about how to double your revenue in 2023. Man, I can't believe it's starting 2023. Can you, Nick?
No. Looks like you already doubled your revenue. Look at all that hardware on the wall.
2023. That's a video thing from the camera. The lens is splitting the image. It's not what it appears.
Very funny.
Yeah. We're going to show you how to do that. We're going to talk about how to double your revenue. We're going to talk about how to find your dream clients. We're going to take your questions. We're going to do some shout outs. I think we have, let me double check. We have a member of the week. I think I'm going to do a book of the week. The past couple weeks, people have been asking for a book of the week. So I'm going to do a book of the week today because I happen to be reading one. And we're going to get started with all that. So wherever you're at, grab a cool drink, find a comfortable chair, pump up the volume, as they say. And we will see you back here in one momento.
It's now time, the moment you've been waiting for. Get ready for the fastest 60 minutes of marketing strategies and tactics to build your remote empire from anywhere in the world. After 167 agonizing hours, they've finally returned. From the sun-soaked Sin City and the sandy shores of Maui, Hawaii, now back for a brand new Aloha Marketing Jam Session. It's your hosts, the Offline Sharks and Remote Millionaires, Tom Gaddis and Nick Ponte.
Oh, yeah. Listen to that crowd out there. Fired up about doubling their revenue. Fired up, Nick. Listen to that. Oh, look. Oh, no. Please. That's enough. Please.
So good.
They
miss you.
That's great. So great. Awesome. Well, we do have a great live show lined up for you today. Maybe before we get into all the details, Nick, maybe you can update everybody on what's been going on in your world this past week.
Man, so I have been really dealing with some bottlenecks. We've been hiring. We have been, let me back up. Since our agency doubled its revenue last year, we are experiencing some bottlenecks. And, it usually comes down to growing the team. Whenever you have a situation where you bring in a ton of clients, the bottlenecks are usually fulfillment. And so that's what we've been doing, making sure that we're growing our fulfillment team to help deliver on these products and services, So if you're somebody that's new, you might be doing all this work yourself, but you might want to think about growing your team if you're, ready to take it to the next level. So, just dealing with those kinds of things. What about you?
Yeah. Well, before we get to that, I saw too that you made a post in Remote Millionaires today too, that you guys adjusted some pricing in the agency, right?
Yep. We adjusted some pricing, and that has to deal with growing pains as well. And we talk about this a lot. If you're somebody out there and you talk to 10 people about your services, whether it's, running advertising or doing social media or websites, you talk to 10 people and you sell 10 people, you should probably raise your prices.
Yeah.
That means that the market is telling you that your product is clearly worth whatever it is you're charging for, you're asking for it. You're probably charging too little, because you do want to have like a 20% ratio or percentage of people that aren't willing to purchase your product. That allows you to continue to improve whatever it is you're delivering or your sales process, and make sure you're not leaving any money on the table.
Yeah, it's interesting you said that, because we're talking about doubling your revenue. Raising your prices can be part of that, along with some other strategies we're going to talk about. But one thing that I found interesting in kind of my journey in the agency is that, like, when I was new, I didn't have a lot of confidence in what I was doing. And so, pricing was a real struggle for me. But like, as I got more experience and did more work, I thought that was going to go away, but it never really completely went away. Like, I still had that thought, like, oh, I'm going to raise the price of this. No one is going to buy it. Like, they're like, even though I knew people were paying, you know what I mean? Like, it was just it was a fear, and it held me back from doing that for a while. But I know one example from the agency today is, how many months ago has it been since you raised the pricing of the basic social media package? I mean, that's been like 3 months, 4 months.
Yeah.
And you raised it from what to what?
Well, I mean, we've played with different pricing,
Right.
and to kind of make our foot in the door strategy that we use at scale. Like a lot of people that have online revenue system, who has online revenue system, let us know in the comments. If you're somebody that has online revenue system, what we recommend to start with is $299 per month. That's what you sell it at. That's the original entry pricing that we started with. We don't sell that anymore. Because we've raised our prices, because we have credibility, because we have a portfolio. So, you might want to consider raising your price to $499 a month if you're already, have a little traction going. But if you don't have any clients and you need to get clients, you might even want to give it away for free, just to get some attention, just to get somebody to work with you, and give it away for free for the first 2 to 3 months, and then start raising your prices once you deliver value and, they overcome that feeling of like not knowing if this is for them. Because when you give it away for free, you take all the risk away and you get somebody to say yes, rather than trying to pitch something. And, if you're not having success with that, you might need to try something different, getting a bunch of no's. It's better to have somebody trying something than a bunch of no's. So that was a long-winded way of saying $299 to $499.
And how did that impact sales?
Yeah, the sales went down, right? Like they went down, but we got higher paying clients, month over month, lifetime value, year over year. Like we make more money in the long run. And people will, people will start to experience this as they grow too. You'll get to this area, this privilege of being able to be more picky and choosy of who you're working with, rather than just trying to take on everybody that says yes, and if you are that person, you might find yourself working with people that probably aren't the best clients, and you can start to identify why they aren't the best clients ahead of time, especially if you use things like our pre-qualification process and whatnot. But once you have some clients coming in, you have some base recurring residual income, you have, 5 or 6 clients on retainer, you can start to be a little more picky and choosy and only work with people that are more higher value, that have a better budget, that aren't, as challenging to work with.
Yeah, that's good stuff. So our first strategy, our first principle, whatever you call it, for doubling your revenue in 2023 is continually to look and improve your pricing for your services. And that goes for whether you have a lot of clients or just a few clients. I know we've shared some trainings before inside the Shark Alliance of how you raised the price with current clients. You just updated one the other day because I was talking about it and you were like, oh, I should go look at that training. And it was an existing client. You raised the price on them and they've been with you for a year since you raised the price, right? Because the fear is they're going to leave, right?
Yeah. And it's so funny you say that, because there is a right way to raise your pricing and there is a wrong way to raise your pricing. The wrong way, in my opinion, is to send out an email to everybody and say, hey, everybody, we raised our price. This is what it is. Like, that's the wrong way, because you're going to get a lot of people who be like, I don't want to pay more for this. You don't have the opportunity to remind them why you're really raising their pricing and give them that personalized feel as to why they should pay the new higher rate. And it's funny you're saying this too, because I had someone recently try to raise their price on me. And I was like, no, that's not good. That's not a good enough reason. I didn't take it, And so, yeah, when you were sharing that case study training that I made with one of our RM members, and I had a look at it, I was like, damn, this is some of the best training I've ever put together. And the reason I know it is because we took a $3,000 a month client to become a $5,000 a month client, which is a pretty big stretch, right? It's like almost double what they were paying. Mm-hmm. And there was some back and forth when I went and I did this through email. There was some back and forth. At first, they kind of balked at the whole situation. And one of the things that I did, and I was like, you may not know this, but let me share with you and remind you everything that we're doing for you on a monthly basis. And I just put together this huge list of like, you know, we're training our team. Even like, here's what we're already doing. We're doing, you know, XYZ. We're running ads. We're ranking you higher in Google. We're continuing to optimize your Google My Business. We're posting regular content articles on your website by a professional team. We're doing all these things, and we want to do even more for you. We want to continue the education of our team. We want to continue to level up. And in order to do that, we need to raise our price a little bit more. And this is what it is. And so I gave away a little bit of the info there. But we were able to take that client and turn them into a $5,000 a month client. But even when I said that, his response was, okay, let's try it this way for a month or two and see what happens. And so we did. And we've been trying it that way for years now. So it worked. And I've continued to use that method to raise my prices up until this point. So,
yeah, that's great. Desiree wanted to know, how would you do that with a client in Canada? I have a 3K client I need to increase. For her, it's 3,800. I mean, I would base it off of probably use her numbers, Desiree, just to make it easy, right? Like, what is she paying in Canadian dollars?
Yeah.
Right. And then just say, hey, look, you know, because of what we're doing, this is what we need to do. The key to what Nick was just talking about there, though, is making an effective argument and case for why the prices are going up, you know, and doing it with a personal touch. Like, hey, I'm reaching out to you because, you know, look, we're currently doing all these things. I feel like to get you better results, we need to take it to this level. To do that, I need to bring in another person, you know, or I need to do something, that type of thing. And that way you can show her the value, like she's already getting value, and you're saying, look, we're going to increase the value. And then you could always follow it up with the same thing. Like, hey, why don't we just try it this way for a month or two? And you tell me, you know, what you think. Just make sure you go back and revisit and show improvement. You know what I mean? I would each month be like, hey, look how we improved this month. This is what we're doing better. This is what we're doing better. This is what's going on. Like, just so they know what's happening, that you're actually following through on what you said you were going to do. And it's just not some arbitrary reason that you're raising your prices.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing you're always fighting against. People always think you're just arbitrarily setting a price. And that's what you don't want them to think.
Well, and to talk about that a little more, you know, you want to be able to read the room a little bit too with your clients that you're raising the pricing on, right? And what I mean by that is that you wouldn't go raise the price on somebody that is having a difficult time actually getting an ROI off whatever you're doing for them. You're going to raise the price on somebody you're crushing it for, that you have trackable metrics. You're like, hey, look, we're already bringing in $50,000 a month for you. What if we work twice as much for you? Do you think we might be able to bring in 70 or 100,000 so that we could increase what we're doing? So you have to be able to think about that a little bit, which is why the email strategy, sending an email out across the board to all your clients, I don't like that, because you're not able to read the room with each individual customer. You know, you don't want to do that to everybody. I mean, if you're a huge company, you might be able to get away with something like that. But if you're like all of us, which is like a smaller boutique style agency,
a normal person,
yeah, just a regular human being, you're going to want to read the room a bit. And I would say, why shouldn't you charge a little more to the people that you are crushing it for? I mean, we're in the game of making them more money. So if you're able to find a strategy that works, make them more money, get them more customers. I mean, you've identified the value that you bring. Keep doing more of it and charge a little more. There's nothing wrong with that. And the same principle applies as like when we bring somebody in for a free offer. First, we bring it in for free so we can show them what we can do. We generate the value, we bring the value, we make the money. Well, then we raise our price a little bit. And like, as we continue to bring the value, we can keep raising our price. You just want to make sure that you're not trying to raise your price too much where they're not making a profit in what you're doing.
Yeah. One final thing I would say about this, and then we'll move on from pricing, because pricing, I think, is a piece of having solid revenue, but I don't think it's the main thing, right? Like, it's just it's a subsection of really what you need to be focused on. So we'll get to that. And matter of fact, what do you guys think the main thing for doubling your revenue is? What do you think the number one thing is for doubling your revenue in 2023? Put it in the comments while I'm talking this last couple things about pricing. So two things I want to say about it. One, right now, a lot of businesses are raising their prices. if you are doing marketing services for any of those businesses, this could be a very good time, and you're doing well for them to raise the prices, because like they know they just had to did it. It makes sense. You know what I mean? Like it's not really coming out of the blue. Like they've been thinking about it themselves to their customers. So I guess what I'm trying to say is it's possible that you could get a little more leeway right now, because almost everyone is having to do that. Right. I mean, my insurance company, Jesus, I told you the other day, Nick, they freaking raised the bill $1,200. And when I called them, I was like, why does this go up $1,200? And they're like, well, the cost of parts and fixing cars has gone up and medical bills have gone up. So we're raising our price. So like
supply chains,
Yeah. So anyway, it wasn't anything you did. They said it's not anything you did. It's because of this. So
thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Made me feel really good, especially putting a 16-year-old driver on the policy soon. I'm like, oh, that's so great. How nice of you to do that. Anyway, neither here nor there, but you may get a little more leeway. And then there was one other thing I was going to say about pricing, and that is like, you also want to make sure you're reviewing your pricing regularly, right? Regularly. Make sure you're doing that and basing it off what you're trying to do. Like the way Nick and I do it is we set a goal and then we work it backwards and break down what we need to be making based off of that, right? So, if you charge on a per project basis, then I would still like break what I need to make per hour. And then I would try to do my best to estimate like, well, how many hours is this project going to take, and multiply that by my hourly rate to make sure that I'm charging the correct amount. And then every time I finished a project, I would review my time spent. I would time track during the project, right? And then I would review to make sure that my estimation of hours is actually accurate to what I spent on the project, so that I can adjust there too and make sure that's right. And then finally, you have to know when you raise your prices, you're not going to keep every client.
Yeah.
You're not going to keep them. It's much easier to prospect with a higher price than it is to have a current client and take them to a higher price. That's why I say it's really only a small part of doubling your revenue, because you're not going to be able to do this. Most people just like, once you set a price, it's very hard to raise it significantly unless you're just killing it.
Yep.
And have success. So, sometimes you might just want to keep those clients at that price, start prospecting at the higher price. And once you get enough clients on to compensate for that, you may need to go back to these clients and say, hey, look, nothing against what we're doing here, but like my fees have to go up. And if you're not okay with that, then we just have to separate. Right. So just know that that's going to happen. It's much easier to prospect for new business at a higher price than raise your prices. So just keep all that in mind. Okay. Whew, got through that. So before I go into what I think the number one thing for doubling your revenue in 2023 is, let me tell you a little bit about what I did this past week. It was actually a busy week. So my mom left on Tuesday. She headed out to Houston. And then I've just had a lot of stuff going on. Joe and Rob from PPC Ad Lab, they were here in Vegas last night. So we met up. They invited Miranda and I out for dinner. So we met up at Sushi Roku at Caesar's Palace and had dinner and got to talk marketing and what they've been reading and what they're doing and all that stuff. Really awesome to see them. It's interesting, Nick, because Rob was in town for Perry Belcher's new Mastermind Driven. So he came for that. And then Joe flew into Vegas so they could, get together and strategize about what they got going on in their company. Because Rob lives in England and Joe is in Ohio. So it was really great to see them. We had a great time.
Nice. Really
awesome. I mean, those two guys are so smart. They were telling me about some tools they're working on and things. And it's just like, holy cow. Pretty amazing. So that was awesome. And then on Wednesday night, the gym I go to, the owner of the gym invited me to go to the Las Vegas EO group. And EO is called the Entrepreneurs Organization. And it's like it's a networking group for business owners. And so it's, I guess I don't know if I want to say it's similar to BNI, but it's mainly for They have an EO accelerator, which is for businesses that do 250,000 to 1 million. And then there's the main EO group, which your business has to do 1 million or more. And you have to be the owner, a co-founder, or a majority shareholder in the business. So employees can't go to EO. It's just for business owners and business owners at a certain level. And it was interesting because, they were talking a lot about the challenges that people face when they start a business, and, how it's very hard to talk to somebody about what's going on because your normal friends just don't understand. Right? Like you go in there and you're like, oh man, we have to make payroll, and I don't know if I can make payroll. They're like, what are you talking about? Just pay the freaking payroll. Like, they don't have a grounding to it. Or if you do well, like sharing your successes with them can sound like you're bragging or doing those things. It's like, if I were to talk to you guys about the struggles and the challenges we've faced over the past 3 years getting these things, you'd be like, Tom, shut up. You have 3 2 Club awards. Like, forget it. Oh, so it's like a place where you can go and talk about that stuff. And I found that very interesting. And I met a couple of high level people there. Actually, one guy that's in our space that lives here in Vegas that I didn't even know about, and a few other people. So that was fun. They had it on top of the Circa at it's called the Sky. What's it called? The Legacy Club. And it's like gorgeous. It's like the best view in Las Vegas. They built this lounge cocktail area up there. It was awesome. So did that, met with Joe and Rob, and then been working a lot on a new course that we're going to be releasing in February. So been diligently working on that behind the scenes. And of course, helping our Remote Millionaires members and that kind of stuff. So,
well, what would you say the biggest takeaway of the EO, and that stands for, what did you say?
Entrepreneur Organization.
Entrepreneur Organization. What was the biggest takeaway from that? Or, I mean, and if not I was going to say, not a takeaway for everybody else.
Yeah. I mean, what was interesting to me about it is it's really a way for people to do what we talk about. Like our goal with Remote Millionaires is a place where people that are trying to do similar things can come and get support and help from people that have been there, done that, right? Mm-hmm. Can talk about the challenges, can share the wins, and feel good about it. That's really what EO is about. Like I was telling you, the reason I was like, well, I mean, to me, like I have a community and friends and a group of people where we already have things in common, like we already kind of do what they do there. If I were an entrepreneur in a place where I didn't know a lot of other entrepreneurs, or I didn't have a community like Remote Millionaires or even the Offline Sharks Facebook, like I think it's a good place. If I were actually, trying to get a agency off the ground, I think it would be a good place to get clients, but you have to be at a certain level to do that, right? Mm-hmm. You're not just going to do it when you're brand new. Although they do offer something called a sponsorship, which I didn't really find out about, but there was a guy there that was a financial planner. He just sponsors it. So I don't even know what he pays to sponsor, but he gets to come. He's not a part of the group, but he gets to come to the events and mingle and meet the business owners because he's a sponsor, right? And peddle his wares.
So in your experience though, like for everybody that is like a new agency owner or medium-sized agency owner, what would be like the recommendation for you to give them in terms of like a networking or a marketing group to either get around like-minded people or get more customers? Or, if this is maybe like a higher level tiered for them to aspire to, then what can people below a little lower than that with experience gain access to something like that? What's your recommendation?
Yeah, I would say I think the best place to start is BNI, Business Networking International, because it's a paid networking group. They have chapters all over the world. When I was in the one in Hawaii, I mean, I think we paid $500 or $600 a year. So it's not a crazy break the bank expense.
Were you able to get a return out of that group?
Did we get a return out of that? Do you remember that picture I had that they took of everybody in the BNI group, and we circled everyone that was a client? Yeah. And there was only like 3 people that didn't have red circles around their head. We used that somewhere, and I can't remember where we used that. I wish I could find it. but I had this picture of like all the BNI members, and I'm there, and we circled everybody that had been clients for us, and it was like practically the entire group of people. But I talked to, the reason I say that too is not just my experience, but I talked to a lot of people in our Offline Sharks community and our Remote Millionaires community that get a lot of work out of BNI. And so that's a great one to start with and build up. So look, the big takeaway for me the thing that EO reminded me of is that if you want to double your revenue, if you want to hit higher goals, you need to hang around people that are going to help get you there. Whether that's mentors, other business owners, you know, that old thing, you're the sum of the 5 people you hang out with. Like, if you want to be $1 million business, I would do everything I could to find $1 million business owners to hang around, right? Like, if you want to have a successful business, hang around other people that are trying to have a successful business. The other people in the BNI chapter, they're trying to have a successful business just like you are, right? You guys have a common goal. You're kind of united in this common goal that you're all trying to grow your business. So those are the kinds of people that you want to hang around, and you want to pay attention to what those people do, right? Like, what are they doing? How often are they prospecting? How are they getting their clients? Maybe there's ways you can do that and figure out how you can help them so they can help you.
Yeah.
So that's another strategy for doubling your revenue, right? Like leveling up your peer group, leveling up your business relationships, right? Doing those kinds of things. Other great places, like if you don't have the $600 for something like BNI, other great places to go are like, you did Toastmasters, right, Nick?
Yeah, and I actually just saw that Desiree, congrats and shout out. She went to Toastmasters, and yeah, I did that I think I did it for like a year straight because, you know, I mean, a lot of people don't know this, but like growing up in Hawaii, like I wasn't very good at speaking. You know, we speak like pidgin English here, and you know, it was difficult for me to have what I felt to be, you know, elevated conversations, present on webinars, things like that, get on a live, get in front of a camera, start a YouTube channel. And so it was one of those things that I was, you know, very hesitant to get good at because of how much I hated it. And maybe some of you can relate to that. And so one of the things that I did was, you know, against every fiber of my being, join Toastmasters so that I could practice doing that. And you know what? It really worked. Surprisingly enough, it worked well. So, yeah, shout out to you, Desiree, for going over there to work on that. Yeah.
So Toastmasters, that's a good one. Another one that we used to do from time to time were the meetups. Like there was the WordPress meetup. So do you remember that WordPress meetup that we went to?
Oh yeah, that's right.
You went to that more than I did. I only went a couple of times, but like even just a couple of times I went, like one time I went, there was just a random person there that showed up because they needed a website built. Yeah. They're like, I need to have a website built. And I figured what better place to come than the WordPress meetup.
That happens a lot, actually.
Yeah. So that's another one that if you haven't found those places in your area, you know, those groups in your area that you can go, you know, do that. And if there's not one, maybe you start one. Right.
You just made me realize where I think that we use that picture of like with all the red circles and everybody. I think at some point we put together some sort of a training that was like how to like get it like math, like.
Oh, the networking training.
Yes.
We did a training on how to get clients from networking groups.
I think we used it for that.
Oh yeah, you're probably right. That was like, wow, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Jacqueline says she's in a mom's in business group, perfect for building my gym. Yeah, that's great too.
Nice.
Yeah, that's really good. Hang out where prospects hang out. Yeah, Desiree, you're absolutely right. One of the things that I found surprising too was one of my clients in Maui was the EAL Theater. They are like a local theater production. They do musicals and things. And I was doing their website for them and helping them with some stuff. And they had a charity event every year. And I bought a ticket to it one year. And like, I went to it for more than 1 year because like the first year I went, I was at a table with like the owner of Tamara's. And there was like I was at a table and it was all business owners that had donated to support the local theater. And so, you know, I was at 1 year and I think I was sitting at the table with the mayor. like the mayor was at my table. So like the connections you can make at even those events, and you're doing something good. They did a car wash, or another member and B and I did a charity car wash, and me and my daughters went and helped them wash cars. And like everybody else there with me washing cars were all business owners. One of them was the owner of the largest State Farm agency in Hawaii, like in Maui. The other was like so it was that surprised me. Like I didn't expect that. So, think a little outside of the box too. Networking isn't just about those traditional things. You can, what other organizations can you join where there are, you might run into like-minded people. I'm trying to think of another good example. Like a lot of business people golf, right? If you're a golfer, can you find some kind of little golf club or golf course where a lot of business owners hang out? That could be another one.
Well, I like the idea of like the Facebook groups are amazing. There are an incredible like resource, and there are so many of them, right? They're like these little subcultures on Facebook. Like last summer, when I bought my place in Washington, I joined this Facebook group, right? Like Washington recommends, or city name recommends. And it's got like 30,000 people all living in this city that are all recommend, like people go in there daily and they're like, what is the best, plumber, who can I, anybody having recommendations on somebody to help me build a website? And it's just people recommending all the best people in their area. Those communities online exist too. And being in those communities, making recommendations, getting your name out there, and then also putting yourself out there is also a great way to, just meet people, meet people. I like the meetups too. Meetups are really good. Chamber of Commerce, that person.
Yeah. And the Rotary, I forgot, I was a speaker at the Maui Rotary one time. They asked me to come over and do a thing. So there's opportunities like that as well. And then this one that you had up here. So a social media director for Polka Dot Powerhouse. A lot of the ladies hired me to do the Google My Business, and I taught a Zoom on D-Way. Yeah. And that's great. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I loved Desiree's, the bar.
The bar.
That's a networking event you can really get into right there.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Let's see. Yeah, cool. So that's 2. So we've been talking about doubling your revenue. We've now given you 2. We still haven't touched on the main one, but we've given you 2 strategies. 1, raising your prices. 1, leveling up your networking, right? Finding the places where your clients are going to hang out. So that's 2. Anybody have a thought on what the number 1 way to double your revenue is?
There are only there are really only 3 or 4 ways. And actually probably really only 3 if we're being real, real precise mechanisms to double your revenue.
That's a good one, Richie. Richie said join RM. Well, that will help you double your revenue.
You're right. Therefore.
That's not what I was looking for. That was great. Oh, this is close. Oh, I see some ones. This says making more offers. Increase your knowledge skills.
Yes.
Yeah,
but those aren't
good. I'll tell you what I'm talking about. The broad stroke of it all. Sales. Sales are the only thing that are going to help you double your revenue, right? Which means you have to be doing the revenue producing activity of sales every day, consistently. It can't be hit or miss. And what is sales? Well, prospecting, building your list, doing your reach out. That stuff has to be happening on a consistent basis. You have to be making more offers. That way you can close more deals, right? So that's the thing that's really going to move the needle. This was something that really just stunned me when I read it. And it's a book that I've recommended on this show and other places a lot. It's a book by Michael Masterson called Ready, Fire, Aim. And he talks about how to go from 0 to 100 million. And he talks about the challenges and the things you face in each stage. And from 0, this is what killed me. I thought if you're going to go from 0 to 1 million, like there's a lot of things you have to do, but really the only focus to get from 0 to 1 million is sales. That should be your only focus. Everything else is secondary. Sales, 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 sales. It's only after you cross that 1 million mark that you have to start, doing other things. So I just never knew that number would be so high, right? So if you're sitting there and you're like, man, I'm just trying to get my agency to 100,000. I need to do this, 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 and this. No, what you need to do is focus on sales, which means you need to focus on building lists, finding qualified people, an effective way to get in touch with them, how to follow up with them, how to get them on the phone, make them offers. Like you have to be working on that process. That process is the process that matters, right? The fulfillment and things like that, you can fill out, you can figure out, especially if you focus on sales, you can do something like RM or any of the other programs out there and they can help you with that stuff. So sales is really the thing that you have to be focused on the most if you want to double your revenue. And again, like the other things we talked about with your pricing, the way we kind of figure that out is by working it backwards. So we want to do this amount in sales. That translates into, if we're charging X amount per client on average, we need this many clients. Like we want to have numbers and goals to set, right? That way you can go and look at what you're doing and you can say, okay, where's the process breaking down for me? Like, is it, you say, well, I don't have any clients. Okay, well, how many outreach attempts are you making every day? Of those outreach attempts, how are people opening? Are they responding? What they're responding, like, where's the breakdown part? For a lot of people, it's the outreach attempts. Like that's the very first thing is like, they're not even doing it, or they just do it sporadically, right? They don't do it consistently. So the first thing I would focus on is getting a consistent outreach system up and going.
Yeah. I mean, Dorn, you almost hit the nail on the head. I mean, in my opinion, there are really only a couple of things that you can do. And number one, you can raise your prices. That's what Dorn wrote, increase average ticket price, raise your prices. Get a little echo from you, I think, Tom. Increase your number of customers, get more customers. And the final thing is you can sell more things to the same customers. Sell multiple items to the same people, because getting more customers is usually the most difficult part of making money. Like the customer acquisition process, if you have to run ads, if you have to do outreach, if you have to hire a salesperson, if you're doing the sales, it's a lot of the labor that goes into it. That's the most expensive part. So if you have an existing customer, you've already done the most difficult part and you can raise your prices, great. Or if you can get something else that you can sell to them, which is a big part of what we do, right? Like, for example, if we sell somebody a website, a lot of people hate websites. We don't really hate websites. We don't hate websites because websites are a great place for people to start, because as soon as we build them a website, the next logical step is for us to have a conversation with them on how to get people to that website. And we do that either through running ads or doing search engine optimization or maybe posting on social media. And those are three very simple things that can be productized, they can be outsourced, and they have very high margins that you can provide or you can use to sell and then make profit in your business. And so, that's really it. If you zoom out, there's nothing really else you can do, I don't think. We lost your audio there.
I'm muted because you said there was an echo. Oh. Yeah, that's so funny, Dorn, because I think we had that in a training. I remember us talking about that in one of our trainings about making more money, how there's only 4 ways you can do it. But yeah, and so let me go this because we've got a couple things to do here. And I see, oh my gosh, we've already been blathering on for 45 minutes, Nick. Holy moly.
Cackling.
Yeah. Hold on. So I want to do one thing because it ties into what we're talking about here, which is really about just getting things done, doing those RPAs. And this is, where can I, oh, there we go. Thanks. This was a segment we had for a long time called What's Tom Reading? And if you want to see all the books we've ever recommended when we were doing this segment pretty regularly, you can go to offlinesharks.com/books. But the book that I have been reading this past week is by Stephen Pressfield, and it's called "Put Your Ass Where Your Heart Is."
Wow, what a title!
Yeah, put your ass where your heart, or put your ass where your heart wants to be. Sorry, put your ass where your heart wants to be. And this book is about this very thing. About it's about doing the work, right? It's about doing the work. So it's interesting because, you know, on like in the Shark Alliance and other trainings we've done, I talked about how I used to have Post-its all over the place that said RPA, revenue producing activity, to remind me to do revenue producing activity. I got a couple things from this book and I've put them on Post-it notes. There's a couple, like there's one up here, there's one down here. I've got one on my bathroom mirror. I've got one over there.
You give them to your kids?
Where I sat down, yeah.
Go do a couple of revenue producing activities for me.
No. Well, this is what my new Post-it note says. So my new Post-it note says, today is the day. There is only today. Today is the day. There is only today. And this is the job. There is only this job. And what that means is, like, today is the only day you got to prospect. The job is prospecting. That's the only job. So we got to make sure we get it done, right? And then I have some goals, 3 goals written down on that I'm focusing on for this first quarter. But anyway, so I put those up everywhere, right? And that, you know, that helps to keep me focused, you know? So when I'm brushing my teeth and I'm already thinking about ways I can, you know, well, maybe I don't have to do that today. I could probably put it off till tomorrow. Like, what, you know, I see that today's the day. There's only today. And this is the job. There's only this job. And that has been helping keeping me, you know, moving in the right direction so far. So, and there's some great tips. There's a book of the week for you guys. You can check it out. We also need to do some Shark shout outs and a member of the week. And then I want to kind of tie this all together because, you know, we did a training on Wednesday that was really a system to do all the things that we've been talking about on this show, right? And it's interesting because the training was about AI and finding dream clients, right? And AI is a big buzz thing right now. You know, Chat GPT is a big buzz thing right now. But here's the reality of these things that become a big buzz in the business community and especially in the agency world. They are merely tools. By themselves, they don't do anything. If you can't leverage those tools to make more sales or raise your prices or sell more of something to your existing clients, then they are useless. It's just, what are we all doing talking about it, right? And Chat GPT in particular is an amazing thing, right? Nick, you and I were talking about this because you put something in and it spits things out and you're just like, I mean, it's like a magic trick, right? You're just totally amazed, but you don't realize really like, well, what is that content doing, right? Like now we hear that Google is using AI checkers. You know, there's things coming down the pipe. Like, I don't think this is just going to be the magic, you know, golden bullet that everybody thinks it is. You have to use it correctly. And in that training, our guest, David, he did this segment that if you haven't seen it, you need to go there and watch it because he creates an SEO article in Chat GPT and then he runs it through a couple of free online tools that shows one, it was generated by AI, and one, there's like a plagiarism thing. And anyway, it was really eye-opening to me that like, oh, this would not be good content to use for SEO. But then he shows you how you can take that output and with a few simple steps, you can make it undetectable as not human, like so that it appears as human content and 100% original. And you can optimize it even further for SEO because I mean, Chat GPT just spits out an article, but it doesn't put in subheads. It doesn't put in a call to action. It doesn't put in images. Like there's still a lot of stuff to do, even once you just have the written thing. But the written thing it produces isn't the best thing to use. So he went into detail about how you fix that and how you do it effectively and quickly. And it was a really great training. I'm going to let the link scroll below this video because when we're done, you guys should go check it out. but it really ties it all together. So, if you're in that situation where you're looking for something to sell, you're looking for an easier process, because this covers the selling, the fulfillment, everything. You're going to love the training. You should go watch it after we're done here. You're really going to like it. So that's all I got there.
Well, can I say something on that real quick?
No.
I didn't think so. Okay.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. So, there's massive application, different types of application for these AI tools, and as pointed out, there are a lot of people had some fear behind how this would ruin search engines, how this would ruin the results that they return in Google and things like that. And as David pointed out in the training, which I think is very important, is that it's very easy to identify this information, which is built by AI. It's a lot easier than people are making it out to be. And so, the fear and the panic behind like how this could destroy SEO is like, that's not even existent, right? There are already tools out there that will identify what's AI and what's not, and what's plagiarized and what's not, and that's already there. The thing is like there's still plenty of application for AI, right? Like I use AI tools myself to help me to write things that I normally can't write without spending a lot of time writing those things. I'll give you an example. Job descriptions, introduction emails, things like that. I've already been using this for myself. But the biggest application for people in this community is another way that you can monetize what you're doing. So AI tools are great, but you do need to go check out the training, offlinesharks.com/dream. If you want to figure out how you can make money as an agency owner using these AI tools, because there is an application for it. And I think you all will be blown away once you do go and check it out. So go hit that training. If you're somebody that already has been playing with some of these tools and you're fascinated by the way they work, if you want to figure out how to monetize it for your agency, then just go to the training. I mean, you guys are going to be blown away by it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's do our member of the week. So every week we pick someone from our community that is a good steward of the Facebook group, that's helping people, that's taking action, that's getting results. And this week, our member of the week is, here we go. By the way, you get this great Offline Shark swag treasure chest right here. We'll send that box to you. And our member of the week this week is Mr. Ash Snow. So Ash Snow is going out and making a sale for a service he's in the process of mastering. So he went and sold something he's in the process of learning because he knows he has the support and backing of a great mastermind known as Remote Millionaires. I saw he closed a deal. He's an Eagles fan. Like, I mean, what's not good about this guy right here? Also, you don't know him. He's a magician. So like, he checks all the boxes, So congratulations, Ash. It's really exciting to be watching you, take action, make progress, all that stuff. So congratulations.
Congrats, Ash. Yeah, he's putting in the hard work for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. So Ash is our member of the week. And then we got some shark shout outs. We are going to close this show up with some shark shout outs. And I think we covered everything that we said we were going to talk about, right? I didn't miss anything, did I?
No, I think we got through it.
Okay, so here we go. I'm going to share my screen. All right, so we like to celebrate the wins in our community on a weekly basis. And you guys can see this here. Our first shout out goes to Andy Makar, another magician. The magicians are taking over, Nick. The magicians are taking over. Andy Makar sold his second home services jackpot painter website, $2,250. It includes a website, content, and Google Business Profile setup, plus $100 a month for hosting billed quarterly.
Yeah, that's a solid win.
Yeah, that's a great one. Desiree, who was on the show and commenting, she re-signed one of the first clients she got when she launched in August for another 6 months at $3,000 a month. And a client reported a 26 to 27.8% increase in revenue each month since working with Desiree. That's awesome.
Damn, Desiree. And not only did you keep your revenue, but you also boosted their revenue. So they're going to be a client for life, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's great. EG Buzz closed another SEO deal, $4,898.
Damn, that's a solid SEO deal.
Yeah, that's a good one. Let's see. Sean Sherrod sold a one-page website, 397 plus business cards, $55.
Congrats.
That's a good one. Storm and Norman, on-page SEO and Google Business Profile stacking sold, 1,750 Canadian, 1,300 American.
Love to see him back at it.
Yep. And I saw some great posts from Jocelyn in the group this week too. Jocelyn Wing, old client reactivation, blog writing, and social posting once a week for 1 year, 3,750 paid in advance. Speaking of AI, that's how she's delivering that service, by the way. So she sold them blog writing and a social post once a week for 1 year, 3,750, and she's using AI to do the fulfillment. And then a new 5 to 10 page, $5,000 website deal pending drafting contract to receive payment. That's awesome, Jocelyn. And I also saw Jocelyn made a post because her agency growth machine website that she set up, her influencer site from a long time ago, is producing organic inbound leads for her.
I did see that.
Yeah. So really great. Michael signed a roofing contractor. He contacted earlier this month from a lead list generated with Sochi Spy.
Nice.
That's good.
Jonathan wins.
Yeah, Jonathan sold his first home services jackpot website after what he calls much back and forth and prospecting. Started targeting roofers and electricians from the clients for Christmas challenge. And then Sheila Harding made a sale for a logo, $1,000.
Wow. Congrats.
And then,
Taps.
there's Taps. Taps closed 3 deals this week.
Damn.
What?
I said, damn.
yeah. 1,500 coaching recurring 6 months, 300 deposit for a landing page, 600 for integrations, and closed a $600 home services jackpot website. And then we got Ash on here again. Ash sold a site to a real estate with a funnel for appointments, 1,000 plus 119 a month for hosting.
Fantastic job, gentlemen.
Yeah, that's great. For those of you keeping track, that's a combined total of $39,037 for the week of January 14th through the 20th. That brings our grand total since the start of 2023 to $68,405 in deals closed. Remember, last year we did a little over one. Well, we didn't. You did. The community at large sold a little over 1.6 million in marketing services. And our goal this year is to get that to 3 million. So if you're on this call, get out there, take some action, put some of the strategies we talked about in place, and then check back, hold yourself accountable in the Facebook, report on what you got going on, ask questions, use this community and all these people to help you get to where you want to go. I think it'll be a good thing for everybody. So awesome work.
Definitely. Great job, everybody.
Yeah. We got one more thing we need to do.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money.
Dollar. Cheating, bling, bling, got the chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter.
We got to give away some money, Nick.
We got to give away some money. We got 2 winners. I'm not even going to tell you what this is for. You should know. Our 2 winners are Richard Cronin and Barbara Golding. Congratulations. Woo-hoo! We're going to send you some
Congratulations.
You know, right?
That's right. If you know, you know. That's right. Well, awesome. Hey, listen, it's been a fantastic live show. We really appreciate you showing up, hanging out with us. Lots of great questions. If you have other questions, you can always ask them in the Facebook group. Our support desk is open pretty much all the time. offlinesharks.com/support. Really appreciate you hanging out with us. You should check out Nick's YouTube channel if you haven't lately. He's got a lot of great videos on there. Also, we have a Remote Millionaires podcast that I have been doing. And it's so interesting. Sometimes when you do a podcast, Nick, you feel like you're just in a big room by yourself talking into the ether. So I would appreciate it if you guys would go listen to it, maybe leave a review. Let me know you're listening. I'd love that. The last episode I did is, so I had one called How to Sop Up Success. Did a little play on word on SOP, SOP, how to sop up success. And then the last one was getting the right people on the bus. This was a set of 3 episodes that I did on outsourcing and fulfillment. And then there's a couple of good episodes coming up here in the next couple weeks too. So make sure you go check that out. remotemillionaires.com/podcast and offlinesharks.com/YouTube is your YouTube channel, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Well, we will see you guys here next Friday. Same shark time, same shark channel. Until then, stay safe out there. Practice aloha, and we will see you then.
You've been watching the Aloha Marketing Jam Session, your weekly marketing live show, always bringing you the latest strategies and tactics to build your remote empire from anywhere in the world. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this stream. You can stay up to date throughout the week with the Remote Millionaires podcast at remotemillionaires.com/podcast and Nick's YouTube videos at nickponte.com/YouTube. We'll be back here next Friday for another live show. Until then, aloha.